Chapter 1. What do most of the people do when we see a homeless man or women on the road? Some may get a bit of compassion and give them some food or money and something else. But did anyone think that why are they homeless and why are they not trying to work? Did anyone send them to get a job or try to actually help them rather than getting petty on them? The reason why is because no one wants a stranger to come near their level of sociality, or maybe they fear that what would happen if they don't have someone to get petty on. But that doesn't mean that there is no one who actually thought about it as well. There was a rich, noble girl named Emily. As she was an upbringing girl, she always looked down on every person who she saw or felt like lower than her. When she was known as the very popular princess of the state because of her father's position, though she had always looked down on others, she had felt a complete loneliness in heart. She never had time to know her family and especially her father. Whenever she had tried, her father was always busy and couldn't respond to her correctly. After many years of being alone, even though she had a big mansion and never-ending money, she didn't have any real friends. The only true friend she ever had was a maid who was about 2 years older than her. She took care of her as her older sister, but she would always be insulted by Emily. Even after all this, she still took care of her as a real sibling. Her name was Sophie. Emily shared each and everything to her, and Sophie knew everything about Emily. Sophie was a completely different person compared to Emily. The way Emily used to talk or behave towards Sophie was inappropriate, but Sophie never got angry on Emily because they both knew how much they cared about each other. One day, Sophie got sick and couldn't attend her as the maid when the other maid came and helped her. Emily then came to know that Sophie was sick. Emily rushed to Sophie's room, which was in the mansion, and took care of her, instead of going to school. While Emily was rough and cold towards everyone, Sophie was very nice and good towards everyone. So practically they were opposite poles, but they were very attracted towards each other. With time, when Emily graduated from her college and was ready to take over the business, her father said that Emily will have to complete a test, and after that she can take over our family business. The test was that she will be given a small company, and she had to compete with her father's company in business. If she is able to compete and survive for 6 months in the field, she will be officially known as the CEO of her family's business. Emily accepted and started her job as the CEO of the company that her father handed over to her. Her father said, "Until the day when you are able to take over the company, you have to stay away from the house and you cannot return back. You can only come for a visit, or you can stay for 2 or 3 days at the least." After hearing all the conditions, Emily agreed and went, but she asked one of her maids to come with her. As obvious, she chose Sophie as her maid after leaving her house. For the first month, Emily's father didn't do much, so Emily started to think that her father doesn't want to do much to her. After the first month, when she was taking everything for granted, her father started to show why he rules the state. One day, when Emily and Sophie came to the company there, they found out that there was no worker present. They thought that if it was a day off or something, but then they received a call from Emily's father saying that they have taken all the workers by offering a good pay. Her father said that never see someone's outer self and make a perception of them. Always clearly observe them and then do something about them. Do you understand, Emily? Then her father said that until 6 months you have to survive and make a company somehow. Emily was shocked that how her father cheated her and how it made her learn some more things. Sophie took Emily to her small home where Sophie lived normally. Emily was still thinking of a way to build a company and went outside to get some fresh air. While walking around, she saw some homeless people who were sitting by the side of the road, and she saw that some people don't even notice them, and those who do notice don't help them anyway. She just sat down in the bench at the side of the road and was seeing them. She was thinking of how there are many people and many types of people, even though we think we know everything. Something comes and says to you that you know nothing. Then a passerby person came and sat next to him and said, "Why are you looking towards those homeless people like that?" When Emily turned around to see who the person was, she saw an average-looking guy and was looking like he hadn't rested for years. Emily said what she was thinking, And the guy said, "You are right, but rather than thinking that why doesn't anyone help them, why not stretch a hand yourself?" Emily thought that this person has some way of thinking. Right after that, they saw that a guy who was looking like a social media geek give him a bread and water and was just keep on recording that how he saved a life and much more. After seeing this, Emily became angry on that guy and said to the guy sitting next to her that he just gave a bread that was low in quality, and just see him saying lies straight in the eyes of those useless people who are maybe following him or something. What sense does that make? Just showing his fake self after saying this. Emily saw that when the other homeless people asked him for bread, he stopped recording and started to scold them. Emily suddenly got angry on that guy and started to yell at him. They fought for some time, and then the guy who was sitting with Emily at the bench calmed the situation, and the social media guy went back mumbling. Chapter 2. Emily went to bring some bread and water for the homeless people, and the guy came with Emily. Then she realized that she didn't know the person's name. When she asked about that, the person said that his name was Josh, and that he runs a company that will come to an end soon because the people are quitting day by day. Emily thought that he was going from the same problem as she had gone through. When Josh asked about Emily, she said, "I had a company, but it went down due to people leaving for big company." Josh said that world's really small, same thing can happen for many of us. Emily then thought something and said that I don't know whether this would work, but if it does, then you will get some workers for your company. But in replace of that, you have to give some of the shares of the company. Josh thought about it while they took the bread and water and came to the homeless people. Josh said okay, but he kept his condition that she has to take responsibilities of everything with him because his small company was individual, so Josh had to take care of everything. After agreeing to the conditions, Emily asked the homeless that why don't they find any work to do? The people said that they do want to work and earn, but seeing their condition, no one agrees to give work to them. Emily asked that if they are interested in working, and said that the company will provide you house to live, and you can even go outside of the company if you feel like we can't provide you more. But I promise the company which you will work for will give you good salary. The homeless people were happy and were motivated, but suddenly they thought of some things and sat down again. Emily said what happened. The homeless people said that some people came and said that they will provide us house and food. When we trusted them, they suddenly said that they are making a video and we are pranked for fun. Our lives are nothing but joke for everyone. After hearing this, Emily said that she is not joking or making fun of them. Whatever she said was true, and she will fulfill her promise. The homeless people trusted her as she gave food to them. Josh took them and showed Emily his whole company. The people were not sure that they have the skill to do the work, but they didn't back up. Josh and Emily arranged a place for them to live, and Sophie helped them out as well. After 3 months, their company was working great. Josh, Emily, and Sophie came to know that the homeless people indeed didn't have a home now, but they were all literates, and they grasped that work very quickly. And those few who were illiterates were few steps behind the literates, but they were not useless. With time, even they grew to understand the work, and everything started to work smoothly. But good time never goes on forever. When Emily had forgotten about her father's challenge and had started to get completely comfortable with the world she now knew, Emily found the true happiness that she always wanted. And once Emily cried on the shoulders of Sophie and said that she didn't want to be rude, but she was actually jealous of the life Sophie and the others had. On that day, Emily learned how wrong she was. Sophie said that the life Emily is living is the dream of many as well, but no one would want a life like me, because the reason why Sophie was always with Emily from her childhood was because she didn't have a family. Everyone were killed in an accident, and the only one who survived from the incident was Sophie. Emily remembered everything that she had told her and started to cry more, apologizing again and again to her. While she was looking up to the roof of the house and thinking something, Emily left her arrogant way of living and accepted to show her true self to the world. When she thought that for the rest of the 2 months she can survive and make a company, she was again got tangled up in her father's plan. But Emily was already ready for the worst. She had closed every way which her father could have used. His father called Emily and said that your company will go bankrupt. Try to stop it, my princess. But Emily just gave a smirk and said, "Try as hard as you can, Dad." When her father tried to cut down all the ties from those who were the regular customer of Emily's and Josh's company, they couldn't, because Emily had the dark secrets of all the regular customer companies and could use them whenever she wanted. So the companies became faithful to them. After knowing what Emily had did, her father didn't go deep inside the matter, because that could make the matter even worse. After that, her father once again tried to do the same trick that he tried on the last company. When he tried to get the company workers under his own control, they all refused because in their eyes, Emily is that angel who saved them from being a dead human who is always begging for food, and even Emily was so smart that she entered in the brains of the people that if they go outside of the company, they will become homeless again. And the reason why she gave houses for the people was not only because of pity, but also because of her plan. When a person will live in the company's given room, they will have more time for work and less time for lies like housework, and much more. Josh knew everything about Emily and Sophie, so he always helped them with everything that he could. And after some months, the promised 6 months came to an end, and a small company stood up to the large company. And then Emily officially became the CEO of the company, and Josh started a partnership with Emily's company, before noticing Emily had already fallen for Josh because of his way of thinking, and much more, including smallest details to the biggest. In the due time of 2 months, the three of them, Josh, Emily, and Sophie, became very good friends. The biggest company of the state was given into the hands of Emily, so as expected, there was a party for celebrating the welcome of the new CEO, and almost everyone came, like biggest person with lots of influence and much more. But the only people who she gave bit more of attention was her friends Sophie and Josh, compared to others. Chapter 3. After some months, everything went back to normal. Emily worked as the CEO and Sophie helped her. Josh's company was growing day by day, and he almost stood at the same level as Emily, but Emily had more power. Once Emily heard his employees bad-mouthing her, saying many rude things, but whenever she called them to her cabin to discuss about their work and more, she noticed that they were behaving as if they care about her more than anything. By that point, Emily had already known that each and every person, even your own parents, have their own priorities, and everyone in this world has a mask of fake intentions on their face. They show as if they care about you, or maybe they don't care about you, but the one inside of the fake mask will be completely different from the one you know. Emily thought that whoever may leave her or betray her, but Josh, and especially Sophie, wouldn't ever do that to her. Then came the time which broke her heart. Emily was tired from the work, and when she arrived at the mansion, she saw Sophie and Josh waiting for her when Emily approached her. Sophie suddenly hugged her and said that I am pregnant, and Josh was standing right behind her. When she saw his face, she noticed that he was very happy. Emily understood the situation and congratulated Sophie and said that better take care of her Josh. When Josh was about to say something, Emily interrupted and went to her room. The next day, Emily ignored Josh and did her work. Josh tried to talk to her, but she was not interested at all and always tried to ignore him. After that, Josh asked her out of the cabin in a situation where she couldn't refuse. After coming out of the cabin, Josh asked, "Why is she ignoring him?" Emily said, "I am not ignoring you. It's just that," Josh interrupted, and confessed his feelings for her. Emily was furious and slapped him as hard as she could and said, "Get out." Josh left in silence without saying a word. Furious, Emily went to her mansion and said everything that happened to Sophie. Sophie said, "Why did you hit him? You love him as well, right? I was the one who said him to confess to you." Emily became more furious and said, "Do you understand the situation? The father of your child is proposing to me, and you say that I should have accepted it?" Sophie laughed and said that he is not my partner. His big brother like Butler is. We met at the party of your welcoming as the new CEO, and that time the person who was doing all the work for Josh was his brother like Butler. Actually, when Josh was young, his parents disappeared, leaving Josh to die when their company was in a loss. The butler who was seeing over him became his elder brother and took care of him. We both had a lot in common, so we became close, and now we are planning our wedding." Emily couldn't understand much and said, "Then why didn't you say anything about it to me?" Sophie said, "I thought it wouldn't be any help for you because you were very busy." Emily burst into tears, saying, "I insulted Josh and didn't even notice. He also loved me. But now I am sure that he hates me," Sophie said. "There is no way that he hates you. He had always been in love with you from the very beginning, and everyone except you two knew that you both were in love with each other." Emily said that, "Okay, then help me out." Sophie went to Josh and asked that whether he hates Emily for what she had done. Josh said, "There is no way I could hate her, but maybe she hates me, and I know that I was not capable of walking besides the princess, but you know what? I didn't confess the day when I saw her because I thought that I should become worthy of her, so I came to this spot from the bottom for her, but I knew I wasn't worthy for her." Sophie said, "What do you think about this, Emily?" And Emily said, "I'm sorry, Josh. I really didn't mean that as well." And Sophie left the room, leaving Emily and Josh alone. Sophie saw her partner standing in front of the room. Sophie hugged him and said, "Will they be happy?" He said that yes, I am sure of it, after some days Sophie was married. They both lived a happy, fulfilling life, and after some months of their marriage, when Sophie gave birth to a boy, everyone was so happy that Emily left a big meeting in the other country and was present on the day she was giving birth. That's how hard their bonding was. And right after some months Sophie's childbirth, Emily and Josh decided to marry. And in that marriage, no one except the family members were invited, and by family, it includes Sophie and his family as well, because Sophie was Emily's elder sister, and Sophie's husband was Josh's elder brother. After the marriage, the news was officially public, and Emily started a new life with many things awaiting her. But although all this happy things, there was an odd thing as well. Sophie, her husband, and Josh went to a room to talk with Emily's father about something. Emily thought that they are probably talking about how their life is going, and maybe her father was thanking them or something, because Josh said that was what they were talking, but actually Emily's father was talking about how their mission was successful. Emily's father had controlled everything from the beginning, and the incident of Josh getting into her life and the past 3 years of Emily's life from the day of when she accepted the challenge was undergoing, in the order of Emily's father. He wanted her to become flawless and wanted her to become strong, though the love and friendship of those three were not fake. The fake world never changes, neither the fake intentions of some people. We have to change it. In the whole world, there are a lot of people who fake being family, friend, and much more, but with time, the mask falls down for sure. The fake is not the only people in life, there are true people as well, but nowadays the fake is becoming the new trend. When we see a rose, does the thorns mean anything to us? Same as that when we have a true person, it doesn't matter if you have thousands of fake people, the true will still be the only one.